fun begins.
How's it going?
Hello.
Well,
Greetings, young Jedi.
hello there.
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we are doing a review slash discussion video on Grogu in Star Wars The Black Series. Now, as you see, this is the Galaxy packaging with the tapered side. It is a bit of an older release. I believe this was from the very beginning of 2023. And yeah, I have always said when it comes to Black Series figures that are of smaller characters, think like the Skeleton Crew figures or young Anakin or Omega, it is very, very important to fill the box. And this is where my argument originated, or one of the earlier examples of it. Because as you see, while there are several things scattered around in here, there's a lot of dead space where there's nothing going on, too. I believe that this figure is the worst value in the Black Series, and the only reason I picked it up, I stuck to my guns, is I found it at Ross for $10.99. Over half off. It was right after the price hike to $25 too. That really didn't help that they upped the price and gave us nothing. So that's where we're running into this video at. Let's go ahead and look at the packaging and then start the review and see what we have here. And here's Grogu in the box. We'll start by taking a look at the packaging like we always do. This is your standard tapered-sided Black Series box. So you have your Black Series logo above a ginormous window, not very filled with the figure and accessories. Star Wars The Mandalorian in orange. Grogu warning 4+ Hasbro. You have the picture of Grogu in the pram on the side of the box, his name at the bottom. You have that nice little backdrop there with the Jedi-like communication outpost. This side features your wraparound window, wraparound orange stripe Black Series logo. Around back, you have the world's littlest bio and his art again. Black Series logo number 26 in the Mandalorian line. It's insane that we're up to like 40 now. Disney, Hasbro, barcode, legal stuff, all that bottom of the box stuff that no one cares about. Hanger tab, little window, let some light in the box if you are an inbox guy. And honestly, that might be the best way to appreciate this guy. Let's open him up and see what you're getting here. So here's the figure out of the box, and that's it. So I will try to say that there's several things here. However, it's not as exciting as it might not look, which it doesn't. But we'll start with the pram. So the pram is the only version of the early Season 2 one that we've gotten. We did have the silver one from Season 1 onwards in the Mando build-up pack. But this is that kind of white one that, like, Bo-Katan rescued him in Season 2. And it looks pretty good. Has a nice white, light gray color with some orange and some little scuffs all over it. Has some padding inside of it. And a little bit of, like, wire lining up there. It does feature the closing top, which you just snap onto it like so. And there you have the sealed pram, which is a nice function. And yeah, I mean, it looks the part. I will say something very annoying is Grogu doesn't really fit in it very well. So this Grogu is sitting Grogu. I don't think we've had a sitting Grogu since, but this was the first one. And yeah, because he's sitting and because of the rounded bottom in there, he just he rolls in it so super easily. There's nowhere that he can nest in nicely, and then like to have him close it, you have to wedge him in, and like his ears are like plastered in there, and like you could turn him sideways, I suppose, but like this is just not how he rides in the pram. I was kind of hopeful to have him up in the front like he usually does, but because of how it tapers up, he just doesn't sit nicely in it, and he wants to like fall back. I guess you can lay him down and look at the nice Hasbro copywritten stuff and put the baby to sleep. But yeah, I mean, the pram itself is executed nicely, but the figure itself just doesn't really work with it. And I think if you're going to try and single pack a Grogu, it might have been nice to get a couple of Grogus, one that's kind of sculpted to like perfectly fit, leaned up like he does in the pram. But as is, the pram's nice and the Grogu doesn't fit it. I think one of the other Grogus in the collection might be a better choice for it. So now we've kind of looked at the Grogu. He comes with the same accessories we've seen a few times. I believe these came in the build-up pack. They definitely came in the single-pack Grogu, which is the frog, the bowl, and the Razor Crest shift knob. If you open the little acrylic thing, because they do give you nice accessory storage, the bowl and the shift knob are just so easy to lose. So teeny tiny. I've never used these out of the out of the acrylic thing. I just always stow them in there. The frog is done very nicely. It's in a bluey green color with a darker bluey green on the back and the single dot eye in the front. It looks the part. But yeah, these accessories are just begging to get lost, so I generally do store them. He doesn't really have the ability to hold them. His hands are kind of just like in a molded kind of position, so it's like you can rest the accessories in them, but he doesn't hold them very well. He does come with the foil-wrapped sleeve of blue cookies that he steals in Season 2, and it's a nice-looking accessory, but again, it just like, I wasn't like chomping at the bit for it. It does have this little like raised rib down the side that you can kind of push into his hand and, you know, maybe try to friction fit a little bit, but it doesn't really, as I was about to say, it doesn't really super work. I finally get it to work, but you know, yeah, it's like not a tight fit by any stretch. So it's okay, but like it's not really revolutionizing anything here. He comes with a sleeve of cookies. And then maybe the most interesting one is he does come with the Mythosaur skull necklace, and that looks okay. It has some nice detail on it with a short black cable, and cable's a little thick for it, but it just is what it is. The best way to get him to wear it is to stretch it over his ears, and then it doesn't really lay good around the head, so I like, you're really stretching it to do it, but I like pushing it around the puffy collar of his like shirt, getting it all the way around, and then it's a bit of a snug fit, but at least you have him like wearing it. And so I think that's how this Grogu is going to stay, is just sitting there and wearing it. So yeah, that's it for accessories. Like nothing revolutionary. We've seen these before. The pram is okay, but he doesn't fit the pram, and the cookies are like all right. Looking at the figure, I will say he's decoed as nice as any Grogu ever is. You know, he's got the little hint of the white hair up top. The black eyes are very glossy. Touch of pink going on in the ears there. Oh, as I drop him, he has very little paint on the body, just a different shade of tan around the cuffs and the collar. The arms articulate at the shoulders, but they are snug, and it's basically a swivel with a touch out. Hands are on a ball joint, so you can turn them and pivot them in and out. And that's it. There's just not a lot going on here, you know? And like, I don't want to hate on it, but for $25, you know, this is what you're getting. And it just feels very not worth it, because at the same time, for $25, you know, you can get this, and it's so much engineering, you know, so much articulation and paint, and it's like, I just don't see the value as being the same. And even something that they're going to rerun over and over and over again like this, I just don't see this as being worth this or this. Personally, the value isn't really there. So at the end of the day, do I recommend the Black Series Grogu? Honestly, it's a hard one, you know, like, I definitely don't recommend it for anywhere near retail. I'm glad I got it for $10. Like, I feel like $10 is what it's worth. When an average figure goes for $25, and you're going to give me something as little as Grogu single packed, you really need to sell me on it. You know, the box needs to be full. There needs to be some really good stuff going on. Now, if they'd have given us several Grogus, because Grogu's basically a statue, if they'd given us like several Grogus, you know, several pre-posed Grogus, you know, that would have maybe, you know, made it a bit more palatable. But to give us this great big box that's so empty, like anything, like usually when you have a figure in a box, you know, the feet are hanging down below the label at the bottom, and, you know, maybe they'll hide something up in the top. But if it wasn't right there visible, that box was empty. I mean, that box had nothing going on in it. So it's like, I don't know. Personally, if you can get it real cheap, and if you want this version of the pram, sure. But don't go anywhere near retail on this thing. This is easily the worst Black Series value in the history of the line. There's just not enough in the box for $25. There's not enough in the box for $20, for $15. I slightly feel robbed for $10, but what can I say? I'm a completionist. So that's it for now. That's my thoughts on the Black Series Grogu, the worst value in the line. Thank you for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. I'm going to go work on something else now. So until next time, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and goodbye.